Today, I'm going to be reviewing a product that is outside of my typical training realm of speed and explosive work, and frankly, outside of my comfort zone as it involves combat sports, which I have absolutely no experience with. However, through testing the product, I found some awesome benefits, some that I'm sure the creator intended, and some that they might not have. So let's check out the Kodo GI Grip. In this example, this is what I used to utilize. I believe it was Paul Favorite's, one of the programs I ran with his, had a lot of towel curls and tricep for grip reasons, and I actually really enjoy these a lot. However, the one thing you're gonna run into is if you use a big towel like this, it's a pain to kind of roll up, and you're always gonna have a differing grip on one side or the other, which you can use smaller towels. I have a smaller hand towel around here somewhere. However, the other thing I've noticed is it can get uneven. So you can't grip from one side and not the other. You're gonna have to grip the whole thing because it's gonna slide in and out of the D handle. Now, one of the things that makes this such a great tool is the carabiner is actually built into this. And this isn't groundbreaking stuff, but for me, these are the types of things I was looking to poke holes in it and say, well, what's the point of buying this, $50 solution when you can just buy a towel and use a D handle? Well, this is a much better solution. So you can see here, I can grip with one hand and it's gonna pull this way, vice versa. I can grip with two hands and the carabiner is already built on here. So if I have to utilize something like this with a towel, when I'm making quick changes and flip into other stuff, this is just honestly more convenient and it's a much faster way to go from one to another. Because in some cases, I don't have two of these, so I might be doing a superset where I have a cable set low, a cable set high, and I'm doing triceps and biceps, and this is much cleaner versus if I'm doing something like that, the towel's gonna become uneven, I'm gonna have to re-swizzle it, sometimes it comes unfolded, and like I said, to me, that was the biggest, I would say, competitor against this was just a cheaper option with using a towel and a D handle. Now, granted, a D handle is not free, but you typically have them laying around. So that was the first checkbox for me. Now, some of the other things that I found to be more surprising, I'll show you here in just a minute. One of the most surprising things I found about this GI Grip is you can actually connect a lot better on hypertrophy exercises. For instance, you can adjust your grip on the fly, and that's just not really something I ever considered. I thought about this only for grip and performance reasons on improving grip. So see here, I'm grabbing this on a reverse fly with my hand on top. Now, where I actually started to toy around is gripping the end cap and doing this, and it actually feels really good for a reverse fly. It reminds me a lot of the reverse fly machine that you see that's a chest and reverse fly machine, and it allows you to really connect on that reverse fly. Same thing goes for this lateral raise. So here, I'm doing this, feels pretty good, but then you grab the end cap like this. One, you're getting a really good grip, and two, you're connecting better here. So that was without a doubt one of the biggest surprises for me was the hypertrophy benefits here. Now, there's some awesome combinations you can do here, which I kind of shows in my montage video here. You can do the eccentric K-pulley. So for grip stuff, you can just absolutely wreck your grip. But at the same time, I've got a killer tricep and bicep workout. And I want to show you guys one more thing with the grip variations that I found really fun. So speaking of other grip variations, I wanted to give you guys another example here. This is a very common exercise that I use a lot. Utilize the D handle with the towel, but you've got your hammer curl grip here. But then if you can supinate your hands here and really focus on turning the palms up and actually target the bicep pretty well. This was something I kind of discovered today. I tried to do every exercise possible with this thing just to kind of mess around with it. And then at the same time, you can grab the top here on the end caps, if you want to call it that, and really get a killer bicep workout, or excuse me, killer forearm workout. Now, one of the other things I was messing around with, like I said, this is where I think it's a huge advantage having the carabiner built in. You don't have the handle sliding back and forth, so I can grab with one hand here, and I was messing around with this where kind of was honestly just a grip exercise where I'm just pulling it up as hard as I can and trying to resist back. And then if I want to change the grip variation, bam, I do this. And Same thing, different grip variation. So tons of different ways to work your grips. If you want to get really specific, like I was doing some really hard power pulls, which I'll try to show in the video as well. But at the end of the day, I just kind of wanted to show what my training was like and frankly compare it to what in my mind was the biggest competitor, which was just the cheaper way to do it, which is a towel through the D handle. Now, would I invest the $50 in this personally? I would. I think this is a really good tool. I think people spend a lot more money on other silly attachment tools, myself included. And I think this is a much better solution because it allows you to do so many different things versus a one lat pull down, and that's all the movement's for. At the end of the day, this is a lot more functional. I know people hate that term, but if you guys want to check out a different review that goes into the history and some of the other specifications of it, check out Paired and Powered Up. They just did a really cool review of this product. Mine was a little more just based on the workout that I was able to do and some of the differences between this and the D-handle towel solution. But hope this was helpful. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.